Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm here today to share something incredibly personal. A story that turned my world completely upside down. It's about trust, betrayal, and the difficult choices we face when our lives shatter. I hope that, by sharing my experience, maybe it can offer some perspective or strength to anyone going through something similar. My story starts like many others. I thought I had it all. A loving wife, a home we built together, and a future that looked bright and full of shared dreams. We were that couple. The one friends looked to as an example. We communicated, we laughed, we supported each other. Or so I thought. The first crack in that perfect picture appeared subtly. It wasn't a huge, dramatic event, but a series of small, almost unnoticeable changes. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Her phone, which used to be left on the counter, was suddenly always with her, screen down. There was a new password, a work thing, she said. When I'd ask about her day, the answers became shorter, more vague. The warmth in her eyes was replaced by a kind of distant preoccupation. I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was letting my insecurities get the better of me. She's just stressed with work, I'd repeat to myself. I suggested we take a vacation, spend more quality time together, but there was always a reason why we couldn't. The emotional gap between us was growing, and I felt a chilling loneliness even when she was right next to me on the couch. The real turning point, the moment I couldn't ignore the truth any longer, came from a gut feeling I just couldn't shake. One evening, she said she was going out for drinks with colleagues. Nothing unusual, but something felt different this time. The way she got ready, the nervous energy she had, it was all wrong. That gut-wrenching feeling led me to do something I never thought I would. I checked our shared phone records online, and there it was. Not calls to her colleagues, but dozens of calls and hundreds of texts to one number, a number I didn't recognize. At all hours of the day and night, my heart sank. It was a physical feeling, like an anchor dropping in my stomach. I knew, right then and there, what was happening. The vagueness, the distance, the guarded phone, it all clicked into place. The person I had trusted with my entire life was living a secret one. The foundation of my world crumbled in that single moment. Finding the proof was one thing. Confronting her was another. I felt a storm of emotions. Anger, heartbreak, confusion. How do you even start that conversation? I decided to be direct. I sat her down, my hands shaking, and I showed her the phone records. I asked her who the number belonged to. For a moment, she tried to deny it. She came up with excuses, but the evidence was undeniable. Finally, the walls came down, and she confessed. It was a coworker. It had been going on for months. Each word she spoke was like another twist of the knife. She cried. She apologized. She said it was a mistake. But the trust was gone. The image of the life we had built together was shattered into a million pieces. In the days that followed, I was living in a fog. The pain was immense. A constant, dull ache in my chest. I felt disrespected, foolish, and utterly broken. I moved into the guest room, and the house that was once our sanctuary became a cold, silent prison. We were two strangers living under the same roof, the air thick with unspoken words and broken promises. I kept replaying our life together in my head, questioning everything. Was any of it real? It was during this time, sitting alone in that guest room night after night, scrolling aimlessly through social media, that a different kind of thought started to form. I saw our old photos, the happy comments from friends and family about what a perfect couple we were, and a wave of pure, unfiltered anger washed over me. It felt like a lie. A public performance. She had curated this perfect image online while betraying me in private. The injustice of it all was suffocating. This is the part of the story that's hardest to talk about, because I'm not proud of what I did next. Fueled by that anger and a desperate need to reclaim some sense of control, I made a decision. I wanted everyone to see the truth. I wanted to tear down the facade she had so carefully maintained. So I went online. I wrote a long post, laying out everything that had happened. I exposed the affair, the lies, the whole painful story, for everyone we knew to see. The moment I hit post, there was a rush. a sense of vindication. For a brief second, it felt like justice. I had taken back the narrative. I had shown the world the reality behind the perfect pictures. But that feeling didn't last long. Almost immediately, the fallout began. My phone blew up. Messages from friends, family, even acquaintances poured in. Some were supportive, but many were shocked and critical of my actions. Her family was furious. Mutual friends were forced to choose sides. The private, intimate pain of our marriage had become a public spectacle, and I was the one who had made it so. The online world is not a courtroom, and it's not a therapist's office. It's a chaotic amplifier. My post became gossip. The nuances of our relationship were lost, and we were reduced to characters in a drama. Instead of healing, I had just created more chaos and more pain for both of us and for everyone connected to us. Looking back now, with a lot of time and reflection, I can see that my actions were born from a place of deep hurt. I wasn't thinking clearly. I wanted to hurt her the way she had hurt me. But revenge, I learned, is a hollow victory. Exposing her online didn't fix my broken heart. It didn't restore my trust or rebuild my life. It just poured salt on a wound that was already gaping. It prolonged the agony and made any chance of a peaceful resolution impossible. The real healing didn't begin until I logged off. It began when I started talking to a therapist, when I leaned on my true friends who had my back regardless of the drama, and when I started focusing on myself. I had to learn to process my anger and grief in a healthy way, not by lashing out, but by looking inward. It was a long and difficult road, but it was the only path that led to genuine peace. My marriage ended. That was inevitable, but I learned a powerful lesson from the way I handled it. Responding to betrayal with public revenge doesn't make you the winner. It just keeps you tethered to the pain. The real power lies in choosing to heal, in choosing to rise above the impulse for retaliation, and in building a new future for yourself based on dignity and self-respect. If you're going through something similar, if you've been betrayed and you're feeling that overwhelming urge to strike back, I urge you to pause. Take a deep breath. Your pain is valid. Your anger is justified. But channeling that into public revenge will likely only create more destruction. Seek out support from a professional or a trusted friend. Focus on your own well-being. The best way to move forward is not by tearing someone else down, but by building yourself back up, stronger than before. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It wasn't easy to share, but I hope it helps someone. If you found this valuable, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Take care of yourselves